the state of play was any indication as to what we can expect this summer in terms of game reveals, announcements and trailers, then we're really in for a treat. Many titles we discussed in last week's Sunday video: Resident Evil 4, Final Fantasy 16, Street Fighter 6, Stray, the Horizon VR game, they were all present. It was the best state of play ever, you could say, but I don't think that Sony is done with their reveals yet. And we now also learned about many other publishers and developers that are ready to show off their titles, thanks to official announcements, but of course also many leaks and rumors. Plus, one big publisher is strangely absent. So yeah, we got a ton to go over. Of course, if you like these big Sunday videos, then leaving a like would really be awesome, and subscribe, because every Sunday I post a massive rumor and news roundup video like this. We got a new Summer Game Fest hype trailer for the show airing on June 9th, and this usually gives a good indication as to what we can expect. Some things jump out, like Golem, that new Lord of the Rings game that somehow is dropping on September 1st, even though we haven't really seen like a good look at it. So maybe we see like a proper gameplay trailer here. Multiverses, the Smash Bros title from Warner, is featured a couple of times. So we might see it with maybe new characters from Warner properties. The open beta is coming in July, and a Gotham Knights trailer is also confirmed for June 9th. Warner Bros. Games on Twitter says that they cannot wait for June 9th, but I think they will only show these two titles, although we can keep our fingers crossed for Hogwarts Legacy, of course. Saints Row is also featured in the Summer Game Fest trailer, so high chance it's here, and they are still planning a demo for their character creator, so we can already make the character that we want to play before the game launches on August 23rd. So it would be cool if they revealed it and then also said, hey, it's out right now. We see the Ninja Turtles Brawler game briefly, and PlayStation Game Size has it for June 16th, so high chance it shows up with a release date. And yes, this is the Ecto 1 Ghostbusters car that gets a spotlight here. This from the Spirits Unleashed game, a 4v1 title that is still slated for this year. It's from the Predator Hunting Grounds and Friday the 13th developers, so we will likely see it here as well. And yeah, we see Sonic Frontiers. Maybe you saw the first gameplay this week. It's an open world Sonic title that on paper, like, sounds pretty exciting. It's something different. But it seems to mean a lot of empty spaces with some towers and enemies here and there. Now, it's cool that they translated the regular 3D Sonic gameplay to this open world and how it is used to climb these structures and make your way through the green landscape. But yeah, it overall really looks like a game from 5 years ago. Maybe because there's also a Switch version. Like, this could be really cool, but now it really feels like a half step. Maybe it is fun to explore, and I hope that there's like a lot of variety in gameplay, although the combat footage they showed looks really boring. But yeah, maybe they can convince us in the coming weeks. In a tweet, they note that we get the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 first campaign footage. The reveal trailer for the game is planned the day before on June 8th, and it seems to be 1 minute and 49 seconds long, according once again to PlayStation Game Size. So yeah, that will likely be a hype trailer, and then we get some actual gameplay on June 9th. We also get a Callisto Protocol first game demo. This horror title totally stole the show during the state of play. It's from the creator behind Dead Space, and even if you did not know that, you immediately see it thanks to the atmosphere, the third-person action gameplay, and it's also funny how it launches on December 2nd, 1 month before the Dead Space remake. Also meaning I think that they cannot really delay it, like launching this after Dead Space or around would not be beneficial, because Dead Space of course has the name, even though this title is brand new and likely more exciting. So yeah, more on June 9th about this one. They also shared the logos of all the companies that will have something to reveal during Summer Game Fest in June. Nintendo is missing, but also another big publisher. I will talk about that one in a moment. But first, a few logos that stand out. One is from Blooper Team. They are rumored to make a Silent Hill 2 remake, so high chance that that is what they will also show during Summer Game Fest. I think EA is interesting because we already had a moment for the Dead Space remake and Jedi Survivor, so I think this is for the new Need for Speed game that is still planned for this year, and there's no EA press conference or something, so they will likely show it during either Xbox or Jeff Keighley's show. Now, I'm not really up to date on all the Bandai Namco titles, but having Elden Ring DLC announced would of course be really huge. And I think it's possible, like I'm sure they are making some extra content for that. So these stand out to me as things we don't really know a lot about, but it's also interesting to note that one publisher is missing, Ubisoft of course. And this week we actually learned that Ubisoft Forward won't be held in June like last year, but is now planned for later this year. Like there's no real world convention and no E3, so also no need for Ubisoft to rush and get demos ready for the press to play in June. They can just reveal things when they think the time is right. Like they got enough titles for the next 12 months, enough to fill out a whole show, but maybe Avatar Frontiers of Pandora has to wait because of the marketing plans surrounding the movie, showcasing a ton for that game while we've only seen a brief teaser for The Way of Water. Might be a bit weird. Mario plus Rabbids can be shown at a Nintendo Direct. Maybe they have nothing ready for the rumored Assassin's Creed game with Basim, and Valhalla is still getting a ton of content, so waiting with the announcement for the next AC game makes more sense. I can still see the Skull and Bones re-reveal at Microsoft though, or maybe they also want to wait with that and maybe announce a big beta around the time that they show the game again. We at least know that a Ubisoft Forward event is planned, I think for like early September, just like 2020, and maybe this is also where we see that new Far Cry game where we play as Voss. I made a video about that prediction some time ago, and I will leave a link to that in the video description. Okay, real quick, going back to the logos for Summer Game Fest, because 2K is noted here. I'm still holding my fingers crossed for a first look at the new BioShock. We might see the already announced Tales from the Borderlands 2, or they might play it safe and only show Marvel Midnight Suns. Like that seems like a really safe bet. We now also got a leaked release date for this XCOM Marvel game. And it's not via a known leaker, but he did post pre-order pictures that were then removed thanks to a takedown from Take-Two. So this is likely legit, and the launch date seems to be October 6th, 2022. And what is interesting is that it got rated on May 16th, 2022 in South Korea, a week before God of War Ragnarok got rated also in South Korea, and with Marvel Midnight Suns launching in early October, this could also mean that God of War Ragnarok releases around that same time too. Although imagine what a power move it would be to have the release date be November 11th, the date that Starfield was supposed to launch on. I think people will lose their minds, that would be wild. And there is a chance that God of War Ragnarok will get a new trailer and a release date at Summer Game Fest on June 9th. This way Sony still has a big presence at a different event next to their State of Play, and it is just before the Xbox show on June 12th. Now you could argue that if The Last of Us remake is still coming this year, which seems very likely, then it would also be perfect to reveal that in June, so you still got some time between the reveal and the actual release. But I would put money on God of War being there over The Last of Us, although it would of course be great to have both of them. Now the reason why it would be very powerful to have 2022 Sony games before the Xbox event is because the Xbox event should be full of gameplay, but most of the Xbox lineup is for 2024 to 2025. And it's according to Jeff Grubb, who has been right many times. We discussed it before, but of course with the delay of Redfall and Starfield to 2023, 2022 is not really looking great for Xbox exclusives. So there are rumors that a GoldenEye 007 remaster is dropping on Xbox, with Rare developers getting achievements on their Xbox profile. Forza Motorsport 8 seems to be happening, a Gears of War collection is rumored. But I bought an Xbox Series X for new titles they announced around the reveal. And last year, Jeff Grubb noted that the following games were planned for 2023, but yeah, that has been 1 year ago, so things obviously moved. We learned that the Perfect Dark studio lost half of their core people, Everwild from Rare got rebooted, and Contraband from the Just Cause team that got a small teaser trailer last year also seems to have some development troubles. But yeah, still, with these titles being far away, I totally think that this is a list of things that will be at the Xbox show. Compulsion Games is working on a third-person single-player game after they did We Happy Few, and it would be really cool to see the FPS RPG on Unreal Engine 5 from the creators of Wasteland 3. Like, I think this will be the best showcase this summer, with really cool gameplay trailers, just only for games that are still far away. I'm really curious about Avowed from Obsidian. We might actually see gameplay with an Obsidian designer also teasing that they're at the show. Having Fable here would be awesome. And we got Bethesda, of course, with the Redfall gameplay and Starfield, hopefully, gameplay. I mean, they will totally show those games even after the delay. And they might announce the new game from the Elder Scrolls Online makers. Will we see Indiana Jones from Machine Games? Or are they maybe doing another Wolfenstein game? Wolfenstein 2 came out 5 years ago, and sure, they also did Youngblood, which was more like a standalone DLC, but I overall find it hard to believe that since 2017 they haven't worked on like a big game. It's 5 years now. That's pretty wild. They announced the Indiana Jones project in early 2021. So what have they been doing since Wolfenstein 2 came out? I'm curious about that. Also, the Epic Games Store is giving away Wolfenstein out of nowhere. Sure, could be nothing. We saw it with BioShock as well, so that's why I'm hoping that we see a new BioShock game, because it's pretty common that companies give away one title in the franchise for free because something big with the franchise is happening very soon. We of course see that now as well with God of War dropping on PS Plus in June, likely to get more people interested in God of War Ragnarok coming later. So yeah, I think the Microsoft show will be fun. We will be live reacting to both the Microsoft show on June 12th and before that to the Summer Game Fest on June 9th. There will of course be countdown timers when we get close to those events. So hope you will watch with us. Now another thing I want to throw out there is that Kojima might show up at Summer Game Fest. He had a call with Jeff Keighley like a few days ago, so maybe they're preparing something. What has Kojima been doing since Death Stranding launched in 2019? Of course they did the director's cut, but there must be more, right? I hope it's not Death Stranding 2, I hope it's something else, because it seems that Death Stranding 2 just started, so maybe it's something else. Will be interesting. And I overall hope that we might see like the new live service games from Sony. They plan to launch 2 new ones by March 2023. Maybe it's The Last of Us Factions, would be cool to see that. Or I'm still holding my fingers crossed for like a Horizon multiplayer mode, something like Ghost of Tsushima Legends. And also, of course, like I'm gonna play more New Game Plus right now. I don't think that with the updates being like shown now and out, and with Horizon having their moment at State of Play, that they will do a DLC announcement during Summer Game Fest. Would love to be wrong, but I think it will be a bit later, but we will have to wait and see. I'm curious to hear what you want to see, of course. Let me know in the comments down below. Hope you can join the live reactions, otherwise you can watch the video on demand as well. And we got many videos throughout the week. Subscribe for more Sunday videos. I do think we will either have 2 Sunday videos this coming week, because dropping it on Sunday before the Microsoft show is kind of weird. So I think I will do the regular Sunday video on Monday instead to talk about Microsoft and Bethesda. I think that's the best way forward. And then we might actually do one before the Microsoft show, but then on Saturday. You will see. Just stay tuned to the channel. We of course got many videos coming your way. A like on the video would really help me out. And check out our previous video on what the big Sony studios are working on. We really worked hard to collect a ton of leaks and rumors. And there's a ton of interesting stuff in development. You can watch that video by clicking on the screen. For now, I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.